So thank you very much for coming out. I think really to encapsulate everything that we focused on today, we were trying to take our work that we've done, technical work at the driving range, and take it out onto the course and see if we can apply that, maybe focus a little bit away from the technical thoughts and focus a little bit more in the strategy. So we managed to uncover quite a lot of scenarios through our round that really allowed us to highlight and focus on setup, how we can maybe be a little bit more strategic in certain scenarios, and also how do we approach those shots, what do we need to do, how do we need to set our body up, how do we need to make sure that we make the right decisions so that those factors compound into good results. Now, a golf course is completely fluid. There's always going to be different scenarios that pop up. Unlike the driving range where we have a perfectly flat surface, out on the golf course we have a lot of slopes. We've specifically looked at that today and how that slope affects the way that the ball travels. And also, more importantly, how can we now set up to make sure that we best get the result that we want on those scenarios, okay? So that's really what we're focusing on. Is there anything from today that you have any questions about, or is there anything that you want to have a little bit more in detail? I'm going to hand it over to you to kind of get your feedback.
Yeah, I grasped everything. Only thing is when I'm hitting, like when we worked on earlier, I had a couple times where the golf ball is like above my feet or below my feet.
Okay.
Do I ever need to change my grip when I'm doing like do I need to choke off or go
Yeah,
back?
I think it's a very, very good point. And I think strike is our number one factor. I think the more consistent we get strike, the more consistent we get distance. And I think you're totally right. I think in those scenarios where the ball's above or the ball's below, sometimes it is up to the individual. Sometimes players do feel that gripping down, it allows them to have more control. I think if it's something that you would experiment with, I think it would be something to see how that works. You've got to be a little bit careful when you choke down that it might take a little bit of distance off. But I think I would love to spend a little bit of time maybe having an idea of what works best for you. I think you can't always get into trouble by choking up to allow you to get better contact. And I think if it's something that you want to try to experiment with, I think that's something that you can go away and practice in your own time. I personally think it would be a good idea. I think it's a really good thing to bring forward, but I do think you should be a little bit cautious of sometimes how that's going to affect the distance, okay? But I think that's definitely something that we can take maybe into our next session as a little bit of homework. Go away, try to see if you can practice that. I think the key focus is on making sure that the weight distribution is correct for the shot, and also our alignment is appropriate for the curvature that's going to be created. And I think that might be a nice individual practice. Go away and try to see if gripping it down allows you to get a little bit more contact, a little bit more consistent contact, and then let's see if we can then maybe add that into